My name is Yu Yang. I've been married to Ji Yu-chen for 4 years, sticking by him from rags to $1 billion fortune. For my 30th birthday, he gifted me a luxury yacht, yet its hull bore the name of his secretary, Nana. I ordered the name repainted, but on my birthday banquet, in front of 300 guests, he shoved me straight into the open sea. Drones streamed the whole ordeal live to 8 million viewers online. He shouted through the speakers that I'd be pulled aboard only if I faced the camera and yelled 3 times, "Yu Yang is a cheap whore." Frigid seawater flooded my lungs. Staring up at the yacht that was supposed to be mine, I finally understood. The man I'd loved for 4 years wanted me dead. Seaweed tangled my hair against my face, salty seawater flooding my nostrils and throat. The 12-jeweled hand-beaded evening gown dragged me down like an anchor. I kicked my legs faster and faster, each gasp for air like clawing my way out of a grave. From the 6-meter-high deck above, shrill laughter drifted down. Look at her floundering, just like a stray cat that fell in the water. I'll bet 5 grand she'll beg her husband to forgive her within 3 minutes. Make it 10 grand. A drone hovered 2 meters above my head, its red recording light blinking non-stop. I knew millions were watching every second of my humiliation. Ji Yu-chen's voice blared through the drone's loudspeaker, sharp as a blade scraping my eardrums. Yu Yang, if you want a ladder lowered, apologize to Nana on camera. Shout 3 times, Yu Yang is a cheap whore. Otherwise, you'll spend your birthday freezing out here tonight. My fingers went numb from prolonged immersion in icy seawater, white anti-rust paint chipped from the boat's rail embedded under my nails. I said nothing in reply. Then Nana's soft, trembling voice floated down from the speakers, sickeningly delicate as always. Mr. Ji Yu, please stop. After all, Madam is the young lady of the Yu family. I'm just a lowly secretary, I don't deserve her apology. It's all my fault for having my name painted on the yacht. I didn't know any better. Ji Yu-chen's tone instantly softened into tender indulgence for her. How could that be your fault? Your mother's terminally ill, and all she wants is to see you living a good life. Having your name on the yacht would bring her peace of mind. It's Yu Yang who's being unreasonable. I squeezed my eyes shut beneath the waves. What a touching performance of the virtuous secretary and tyrannical boss. But that yacht had been his official birthday gift to me 3 months prior. Every piece of cabin furniture was handpicked and custom ordered by me over 2 whole months. Nana claimed she'd only put her name there to comfort her dying mother. Why not rent a boat? Why just snap a photo of someone else's yacht to show her mom? Why carve her identity onto a vessel that belonged entirely to me? I'd laid all these arguments out to Ji Yu-chen 3 days earlier, and he'd said nothing to refute me back then. Today, he chose to answer my grievances by throwing me into the ocean for a live broadcast. Ji Yu-chen, I lifted my head, seawater stinging my eyes as it streamed down my forehead. I want a divorce. A 2-second hush fell over the deck. Someone relayed my words after reading my lips. Mr. Ji Yu, your wife says she wants a divorce. Ji Yu-chen let out a cold, bitter laugh. Divorce? She doesn't deserve the right. Nana quickly cut in with feigned anxiety. Mr. Ji Yu, what if the Yu family finds out? The Yu family? Ji Yu-chen scoffed. They disowned her 3 years ago. What power does a cast-off daughter hold over me? Dump fish bait into the sea, let's see if she dares threaten me with the Yu clan again. Whole crates of fish scraps, crushed shrimp and bloody fish innards were poured 6 meters straight down onto my head. The reeking muck coated my hair and shoulders, swarms of small fish swirling around my body within 30 seconds, their slippery tails brushing my skin. My billowing black gown bloomed like a giant jellyfish, dragging me deeper under the current. I sank, fought my way back to the surface, sank again, and resurfaced gasping after swallowing mouthfuls of salt water, my stomach churning violently. Voices from the deck read the live stream bullet comments aloud. People are betting she surrenders in 5 minutes, haha they set up a betting pool. The biggest wager is her crying and begging for mercy in 3 minutes, odds 1.5 to 1. Someone screenshotting her sheer dress for leaked photos. I glanced down at myself. Soaked fabric clung tight to every curve, my undergarments fully visible through the waterlogged grey-black lace. I clenched my fists until my knuckles blanched white. Ji Yu-chen, shut the live stream down right now. I shouted upward toward the drone. The drone stayed hovering in place. Ji Yu-chen's calm reply echoed over the speakers. I'll end the stream only if you apologize and repeat those 3 lines. I bit my lower lip until the metallic tang of blood filled my mouth. Yu Yang, don't be so stubborn, he said, laced with impatience. You threw a fit and forced Nana to drink toilet water once, where was your sympathy then? I never made her drink toilet water. Ever since Nana transferred to work beside him a year prior, Ji Yu-chen believed every word she whispered, and ignored everything I tried to tell him. I conserved my energy, focusing solely on treading water. The gown weighed a ton, over 2,000 Swarovski crystals sewn into its fabric acting as lead weights once submerged. Cramping shot through my thighs. Another crate of whole dead fish crashed down onto my shoulders, a rigid carcass striking hard enough to draw a muffled whimper from me. More fish swarmed, nipping at the gown and tearing crystal beads loose from the seams. Mr. Ji Yu, she doesn't look well, a staff member said on deck. Don't worry, Ji Yu-chen replied dismissively. She's a master at putting on acts. She hasn't screamed for help once, she still has strength left to dig in her heels. She'll cave when she can't hold on any longer. My eyes burned with unshed tears, but I refused to let them fall, not for Ji Yu-chen, not for Nana, not for millions of watching strangers. He wanted to see me break, beg, and publicly degrade myself for the camera. He would not get that satisfaction. I drew a tight breath through my nose above the water surface, then reached behind my back to fumble for the gown's hidden zipper, buried beneath layers of lace. My water-swollen fingers slipped multiple times before I tugged it open a small gap. What is she doing? Someone yelled from the deck. I paid them no mind, yanking the zipper further until metal teeth sliced a thin gash across my palm, blood mixing with the seawater. I wriggled both arms free of the sleeves and twisted out of the 87,000 yuan custom dress entirely. The moment the gown slipped off my body, the crushing weight vanished like shackles falling away. The black jellyfish-like fabric sank slowly beneath my feet, crystals glinting faint sparks in the dark blue depths before vanishing entirely. Chaos erupted on the yacht's deck. Holy hell, she took her dress off. Millions are watching her in nothing but swimwear undergarments. Screenshot everything fast. Jiu Yuchen's voice warped from cold indifference to unbridled rage. Yu Yang, have you no shame? Send someone down to retrieve that dress, he cut off mid-sentence, realizing it had already sunk out of reach. What exactly are you trying to accomplish? I ignored him, kicking toward the hull in a freestyle stroke, only clad in plain black underwear and shorts, my skin pale against the dark night waves. My dignity meant nothing next to staying alive. Mr. Jiu, sharks might spot her out here without clothing, Chi Nana simpered from the deck. Let her try something reckless, Jiu Yuchen snapped. Pull the rope ladder up, no one lowers it without my command. When I reached the yacht's hull, the ladder had already been hoisted high above the water. The glossy white paint formed a sheer vertical wall with no handholds. I craned my neck to look up 6 meters at the deck railing, catching half of Jiu Yuchen's face as he stared down at me from above. He wore the navy suit I'd handpicked for him, polished platinum cufflinks glinting under the deck lights. Want to come aboard? Apologize first. I held his gaze without uttering a single word, then released my grip on the hull and turned to swim away from the yacht into open water. She's swimming away, a spectator cried out. Yu Yang, get back here right now, there are deadly undercurrents in this stretch of sea. Jiu Yuchen's tone sharpened with panic. I kept swimming steady freestyle laps. I'd been on the university swim team, taking 3rd place in provincial 1-kilometer freestyle competitions back in college. Jiu Yuchen had never bothered to remember that detail, or simply never cared. Should we send speedboats to chase her? A subordinate asked. No need, Jiu Yuchen replied, cold once more. 17 nautical miles lie between here and the nearest shore. She'll tire and crawl back begging for mercy soon enough. Chi Nana murmured in agreement. She's just throwing a tantrum. She'll calm down eventually. By the way, the live stream's hitting 8 million concurrent viewers, public sentiment's turning against us, another staff member warned. Shut it down. We can't, the platform pushed it to top trending. The hashtag Billionaire Jiu throws wife into ocean has hit over 100 million views already. Silence hung heavy over the deck. I didn't glance back, continuing to push through the waves as my shoulders ached and another leg cramp seized my muscles. I bit down hard to ride out the pain and kept moving. The drone followed me 300 meters out before I heard a distant motor roaring over the waves. I paused treading water to glance backward. It was not one of Jiu Yuchen's speedboats. A matte black 4780 sport yacht tore toward me from the northeast, cold white-lit strip lights lining its hull illuminating the sea like daylight. It screeched to a halt 5 meters away, churning up a wall of seawater that splashed across my face. The engine dropped to idle. A man stood tall at the bow, at least 190 centimeters in height, draped in a black cash overcoat billowing in the sea wind. Sharp, defined facial features stood out against the pale lights, high cheekbones, a chiseled jawline. He crouched and stretched a hand down to me. Climb aboard. Just 2 words, no extra pleasantries. I stared at him, certain I'd never laid eyes on him before, then grasped his palm. His skin burnt hot against mine, his grip lifted me effortlessly onto the yacht's fiberglass deck, my knees slamming hard against the hard surface, a sharp jolt of pain shooting up my legs. He didn't release my wrist, instead slipping his overcoat off and draping its thick, warm cash fabric over my shivering shoulders, scented faintly with cedar and tobacco smoke. You're wound, he nodded at the gash across my forehead, split open by a plastic water bottle earlier that night. He turned toward the hovering drone, speaking directly to the live camera feed, his voice frigid as glacial ice. Who said no one would come for her? Complete silence fell over Jiu Yuchen's yacht far behind us. Jiu Yuchen's voice carried faintly across the waves. Who are you? The man ignored him, pulling a smartphone from his coat in a pocket and dialing a number in a calm, steady tone. Attorney Shen, preserve the full live stream recording. File indictments for attempted murder, public humiliation, and indecent exposure against Jiu Yuchen before 9 tomorrow morning. Also contact the Yu family elder, inform him his daughter nearly drowned to death out on these waters tonight. Yes, Mr. Liu, came the respectful voice from the receiver. Mr. Liu. I huddled deeper into his overcoat, my body trembling violently from post-adrenaline exhaustion rather than cold. Do I know you? I asked, my voice raw and cracked. No, he replied flatly. Why did you save me? I happened to pass by. He walked toward the helm. Hold on tight. The engine roared to life, the yacht surging toward shore at 40 knots. Sea wind stung my cheeks as I wrapped the heavy coat tighter around my body, the lights of Jiu Yuchen's vessel shrinking to a tiny distant speck on the horizon. 23 minutes later, we pulled into a private dock with only space for 2 or 3 boats. 3-meter brass lampposts cast warm golden light over grey granite planks. A black Maybach S680 waited at the end of the walkway, its polished body mirroring the lamplight glow. Mr. Liu stepped off the yacht first and extended a hand to help me down. Can you walk? I attempted to stand, my legs heavy as lead, knees buckling twice. Without waiting for my reply, he swept me off my feet in a single effortless bridal carry, striding toward the sedan. I can walk on my own, I protested. Your left ankle swollen, he noted without glancing down. I looked at my ankle, excised and bruised purple-blue, a blow I'd sustained underwater that adrenaline had masked entirely until now. A uniformed bodyguard opened the rear car door for us and bowed deeply to the man. Mr. Liu. Have Dr. Feng come to the dockside villa immediately. Forehead laceration, possible hairline fracture on the ankle. Understood, sir. The guard pulled out his phone to place the call. Mr. Liu slid into the backseat beside me, retrieving a grey wool blanket from the center console and tossing it onto my lap. Cover up. I accepted the blanket without unfolding it. The car glided smoothly along the coastal road as I stole a closer look at him, deep dark eyes, prominent brow ridges, a faint thin scar across the bridge of his nose. He appeared to be in his early 30s, carrying an air of quiet authority forged by wealth and power. Who exactly are you? I pressed. Liu Heng. The name registered in my mind instantly. City A's three elite clans were the Yu, Lu, and Shen families. My clan ran real estate and shipping, the Lu's controlled finance and military industry, and the Shen's owned pharmaceuticals and tech. Liu Heng was the sole heir to Lu Holdings, rumored to spend most of his time managing overseas European assets. Jiyu Yuchen's entire Jiyu Group's annual cash flow could not compare to a single quarter of Lu Enterprises' revenue. Why were you sailing through this stretch of sea? This stretch of ocean belongs to my family. Your husband's yacht entered restricted waters without official approval. So you didn't merely pass by to rescue me. He trespassed onto my private territory and nearly committed homicide under my nose. I dislike cleaning up bodies left on my property. 7 minutes later, the car pulled up outside a 2-story Mediterranean white villa overlooking the sea, ivory stucco walls and navy roof tiles, 3 neatly trimmed olive trees strung with warm fairy lights lining the courtyard. Dr. Fang, a 50-year-old woman with grey hair and wire-rimmed glasses, waited on the porch with a brown leather medical bag. Liu Heng set me down on the living room sofa and left a brief instruction for her before heading upstairs to change clothes. Dr. Fang cleaned my forehead wound gently with iodine swabs. The cut isn't deep enough for stitches. We'll use medical adhesive tape to seal it. We'll need an x-ray of your ankle to rule out a fracture. I'll apply a temporary compression wrap for now. She wound elastic bandage tight around my swollen ankle. The sharp pain made me arch my back, fingernails digging into the brown leather sofa leaving crescent indentations. Any other injuries? I held up my sliced right palm for her to examine. She tweezed tiny paint fragments from the water-rotted gash, her expression tightening with concern. I sat wrapped in Liu Heng's cash coat, warm lamplight spilling over white marble floors, a mug of freshly brewed hot tea steaming on the coffee table, delivered by his silent assistant who'd vanished after dropping it off. My phone had been left aboard Jiyu Yuchen's yacht, but a spare device rested beside the mug, lighting up with a text preview from Jiyu Yuchen. Yu Yang, come back to me immediately, or else. I flipped the phone screen face down on the table. Footsteps echoed down the staircase as Liu Heng descended, changed into a plain black hoodie and grey sweatpants, hair damp from a shower, his sharp intimidating aura softened slightly yet his eyes still hard as polished obsidian stone. Your husband sent 3 speedboats and 11 men to block the dock entrance, he said, picking up the discarded spare phone and glancing at the unread message. Do you wish to see him? No. Then they won't be granted entry. My dock security will block all access. He leaned against the floor-to-ceiling sea-view window as night blackened the water outside. What do you plan to do next? File for divorce. Do you need legal representation? Why are you helping me anyway? I told you, I hate fatal incidents on my land. He tilted his head slightly, moonlight carving a silver outline along his jaw. Besides, you're Yu Zong's daughter. My father, Yu Zong, the man who publicly disowned me before 300 clan members 3 years prior. You know my father? Our fathers were old business associates 20 years ago. That still doesn't explain why you're going out of your way for me. Liu Heng cut me off. Stop fixating on my motives and consider the online backlash waiting for you tomorrow night. 8 million viewers witnessed the broadcast. Screenshots of you in undergarments have spread across every social platform. I nodded, fully aware of the public humiliation awaiting me. Jiyu Yuchen will release a PR statement before midnight, he predicted coolly. He'll frame everything as consensual couple role-playing, send Nana out to deny an affair, pay platforms to suppress trending topics, then track you down to pressure you into dropping all disputes. If you return to him now, tonight's incident will be swept under the rug labeled a trivial lover's quarrel. Next time his temper flares, he may not stop short of letting the sharks reach you. Silence hung heavy in the air beneath the hum of the air conditioner. I won't go back, I told him firmly. Then you require 2 critical assets, a full legal team for divorce, personal safety orders and live-stream defamation lawsuits, and support from the Yu family. My body tensed. I'm cut off from them. Only removed from the clan registry, not legally disowned. You remain his biological daughter. Your father disavowed you solely over your marriage to Jiyu Yuchen. Now that you intend to separate, there's no reason for them to shut you out any longer. How do you know all of this? Half a year ago your father reached out to mine, asking if Lu Enterprises had means to bankrupt Jiyu Group. He said his daughter had married a monster. My throat tightened, burning with suppressed emotion. I grabbed the spare phone off the table and asked to borrow it to call my mother, dialing the number I'd memorized despite 3 years without contact. It rang 7 times before a shaky, tearful breath crackled through the line. Mom. Yang Yang, my mother sobbed brokenly. Your father saw the full live stream, he's already sent men to search for you. I'm safe, someone rescued me. I'm filing for divorce from Jiyu Yuchen. Finally, I've waited 3 years to hear you say that. Tell me where you are, we'll come fetch you at once. I'll meet your legal team tomorrow. Don't worry about me tonight. I hung up and returned the phone to Liu Heng. He didn't press for details, only directed me to the second-floor guest bedroom with fresh toiletries and clothes laid out, telling breakfast would be served at 7 the next morning. Thank you for everything tonight, I said as he turned toward the stairs. No need for gratitude. I'll hold you to this favor someday. I lay awake in the guest room until dawn, waking at 6:15 to a new smartphone resting on my nightstand, a handwritten note from Liu Heng attached. New number, your old one is tracked by your husband. I limped to the bathroom, finding brand toiletries and a matching set of plain white tee, black trousers, and white sneakers sized perfectly for me. Downstairs at 7, Liu Heng sat at the long dining table reading English financial papers over black coffee, a full spread of shrimp wontons, crab soup dumplings and kanji laid out between us. You spoke to your mother last night? He asked, folding the newspaper aside. She supports the divorce now. Yuzongza is aware of the live stream footage as well. My legal team will arrive at 9 sharp if you require their services free of charge. Before I could respond, his phone buzzed with an urgent call, which he answered on speakerphone. Mr. Liu, Jiu Yuchen has brought 7 speedboats and over 30 armed men to blockade the dock. Several carry bladed weapons, threatening to storm the villa if you don't hand Yang over within 10 minutes. A faint, dry smirk tugged at Liu Heng's lips. Let them enter. Dispatch 20 security personnel to the villa gate and record every word of their confrontation for evidence of illegal assembly with weapons. I stood abruptly, ready to face Jiu Yuchen myself, but Liu Heng pressed my shoulder back into my chair. Stay and finish breakfast. This is my property, he'll need to get past me first. From the dining window I watched 20 uniformed blue security guards line up in precise formation outside the iron gate as Jiu Yuchen stood on the other side with 30 followers wielding baseball bats, steel pipes, and folding knives. He locked eyes with Liu Heng across the fence and demanded I be handed over. She's my legal wife, this is a private family matter. Legal wife? Liu Heng replied calmly. You nearly drowned her on your live stream, attempted murder charges await you alongside weapons possession violations. Jiu Yuchen shouted for me to step out and face him, so I walked to the gate, my swollen ankle throbbing with every step. Come home with me, he demanded, rage simmering beneath his forced calm. I nearly died out there because of you, I shot back. I'm filing for divorce, and all live stream footage is evidence against your attempted murder and domestic abuse. Jiu Yuchen slammed his fist against the iron bars, screaming he would never sign divorce papers. At that moment a silver Rolls-Royce pulled into the driveway, my father Yuzongza stepping out supported by a mahogany cane flanked by 4 senior Yu family stewards. Jiu Yuchen's face drained of all color upon seeing the clan patriarch. Yuzongza ignored him entirely, walking straight to my side and brushing a hand gently over my head, his voice rough with suppressed grief as he noted how gaunt I'd grown. He turned back to Jiu Yuchen and announced the Yu family would sell all 12% GU Group shares acquired as my dowry within 3 days, crashing the company's stock price overnight. Gu's armed entourage retreated in terror as Yu family private security surrounded the compound. I rode back to the Yu ancestral mansion with my father, who admitted he'd regretted disowning me the entire 3 years apart, watching every instance of abuse I'd endured play out on the live stream the night prior. Back at the 12-acre traditional Yu compound, my mother rushed to embrace me, weeping as she traced the knife scars crisscrossing my forearms. I sat in the main hall with the family lawyer and recounted all 23 separate domestic abuse incidents over 4 years of marriage, presenting hidden medical photos and audio recordings I'd secretly stored in an encrypted cloud drive. My father ordered all business ties with GU Group severed immediately, releasing an official public statement reinstating me to the Yu clan and fully backing my divorce litigation. Liu Heng's lead attorney Shen arrived ahead of schedule with 3 drafted indictments for attempted murder, public humiliation, and privacy infringement, alongside divorce and restraining order filings. Jiu Yuchen's PR team had already flooded social media with AI-generated fake photos framing me as an adulteress having an affair with Liu Heng, yet we possessed irrefutable proof of fabrications, or mismatched birthmarks, incorrect chat software interfaces, my overseas travel records proving alibis for fake hotel dates. I filmed a public rebuttal video displaying my abuse scars and clarifying I'd only met Liu Heng that night during the rescue, announcing full legal action against Jiu Yuchen. At the press conference the next day, our legal teams presented audio recordings of Jiu Yuchen threatening to maim and kill me, alongside dated photos of burns, lacerations, and bruising. Gu's public statement claiming my injuries were self-harm collapsed instantly in front of hundreds of journalists. He attempted further smear campaigns by hiring a fake ex-girlfriend to forge cheating evidence, yet we dismantled every fabrication piece by piece within 2 hours of the post going viral. When GU filed a court request to force a psychiatric evaluation of me and secured a biased judge indebted to him, Liu Heng provided bank records proving the judge had accepted a $3 million bribe from GU Yuchen, forcing the judge's recusal and invalidating the mental health petition. Gu's political backer Councillor Wei tried to pressure the Yu and Liu clans into a private settlement by threatening project approval delays for both families' enterprises, but Liu Heng produced audit records proving the councillor was under investigation for corruption, forcing Wei to abandon GU entirely. Left with no allies or corporate capital, Jiu Yuchen arrived alone at the Yu mansion begging for reconciliation, yet admitted he had never truly loved me. I laid the divorce papers before him, he signed them defeated as all his corporate assets plummeted in value, facing a criminal trial for attempted murder. 3 months later, Jiu Yuchen was sentenced to 3.5 years imprisonment for domestic violence and attempted homicide. Nana resigned and vanished from the city, Councillor Wei faced disciplinary investigation, and Liu purchased the Yu family's GU Group shares at a steep discount, transferring all profit from the stock resale into a trust fund solely for my benefit. Half a year later, spring bloomed in the Yu courtyard's peony garden. I'd resumed regular swimming training, fully recovered from my ankle injury, and received a dinner invitation from Liu Heng to the dock villa for my favorite Osmanda sweet lotus root dessert, the dish only my mother knew I loved as a child. As I drove along the coastal highway toward his white villa, salt wind rushing through my car windows, I understood I'd finally escaped years of emotional and physical torment, free to build a peaceful new future without fear or exploitation.